find a place where you can make yourself comfortable. As you find the place, perhaps before you make yourself comfortable, write down anything on your mind on a piece of paper. You can jot down anything you've got on your mind on a piece of paper. Make a mental note, and you can come back to it later if you wish. For now, this is your time. It's time to focus. So make yourself comfortable. You can sit or lie down. As you make yourself comfortable, just move your body and get in a nice, comfortable position. As you make yourself comfortable, perhaps you become aware of your breathing. You're breathing naturally and normally. As you become aware of your breathing, perhaps you notice your heartbeats. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. As you become aware of your heartbeat, perhaps you feel some sensations on your body. As you notice these sensations, you feel a sense of peace. Radiate through every cell. From the tips of your toes to the top of your head. Like a beam of light spreading through every cell of the body. You feel a sense of tranquility. As you notice your heartbeat, perhaps you're aware of your breathing slowing down. And you transport yourself back to a memory. Memory where you felt completely at peace. Notice what you saw, what you heard, and what you felt. And let that peacefulness spread through every cell of the body. You can't think of a time, it's okay. Imagine a place where you feel completely at peace. Not you see any colors, any sounds, any feelings, like watching it on a screen. You see yourself like watching a screen. Peaceful, tranquil. Notice any colours, any sounds, any feelings. And perhaps it's like having a bath or a nice warm shower, or being in a jacuzzi where you feel this beautiful, peaceful tranquility, a warmth all over your body, like a beautiful, warm summer's day where the sun is gently beaming on your shoulders and you feel a warmth, and your breathing slows down and heart rate slows down. You feel safe and secure, knowing you're in complete control. You can come back to the here and now any time you wish. You're in complete control. For now, really enjoy it. This is your time. And sometimes you go through the day and you get up in the morning and you go to work, or you have chores to do and things to do, and your mind is preoccupied with many things, and at the end of the evening you sit down and make yourself comfortable and passively watch some TV, and eventually you place your head on a pillow and you can leave the day behind, and you feel a sense of peace placing your head on the pillow, and you drift. As you drift, your mind chatters, and the chatter, like turning down a dial, gets lower and lower, and as the chatter gets lower, you feel calm and peaceful, and you can just drift away. And in that state of peacefulness, just reflect on times in your life where you've been at your best. Take a moment to reflect. Thinking back to your earliest memories. Knowing at one point you first learned to walk. As a baby, you took steps. You took one step, 2 steps. You may have failed, you got back up again, and you kept on going, and then you start to walk and talk and tying shoelace and riding a bike and going to a shop on your own. Driving, all the things you've done, and think about the times you've been in that zone, in that state of mind where things are flowing, almost like slow motion. And sometimes we're waiting for a bus, for a train, for a friend to arrive. And it seems like a long time. 5 minutes seems like a long time. Like a rainy winter's day and waiting for a bus, and 5 minutes seems like an hour. And perhaps there are times when an hour, and you're waiting for a bus or a train or for a friend, and the hour, and you're engaged in doing something that you really enjoy, and you're really absorbed in that moment, and the hour feels like 5 minutes. You're absorbed in a program, you're watching a sporting event, a concert, you're talking to a friend, or you're amongst wonderful company, and the hour feels like 5 minutes. As you reflect on that, reflect on times you've been in the zone, your mind. Perhaps it was at work, perhaps it was whilst you were driving, perhaps it was whilst you were playing sport or teaching or doing a presentation or an interview. Perhaps it was a moment of inspiration you shared with your children. Perhaps it was a moment where you stood up at work. Perhaps it was a moment that you got a standing ovation. Or perhaps it was passing your driving test, an exam, and you reflect on your best. Think of an experience or experiences where you were in your optimal state of mind. You were at your best. And create an image of you at your best. Like watching a TV screen and you see yourself on the screen. As you see yourself on the screen, you see yourself with your back straight and your shoulders back, standing with purpose. And there's an energy radiating out of your body into the universe, a positive energy, and the energy you send out to the universe comes back to you, and you get stronger and stronger. And there's a rhythm building, and the rhythm builds. As the rhythm builds, you get more and more empowered, and you focus on all these wonderful experiences that you've had, times you've been absorbed in doing something you're passionate about. Perhaps it's playing a musical instrument. Perhaps it's playing a sport. Perhaps it's something you do while at work. I once caught up some friends I hadn't seen for a long time. And after a few years, we'd all gone our own way. And we're having a meal. As we were having the meal, most of us were working in sport, in professional sport. And I was working as a performance coach, and other people in the group were working as coaches too. And we talked about what we'd been doing for the last few years. And one of the friends said, well, I haven't been doing a great deal. I've been bringing up 2 children, I've been staying at home. And I had a moment an epiphany. I said, wow, that's the biggest job of all. And we wonder how we undermine ourselves. In the Western world, we place a value on our social status we do professionally. And I said to the colleague who said she was just a mum is a nutritionist, a mum is a psychiatrist, a mum is a taxi driver, a mum is many things rolled into one, and has one of the greatest responsibilities of all, if not the greatest responsibility, of bringing up children. And we were just in sport, and nothing has meaning other than the meaning you give it. As much as I love sport, what is sport anyway? And sometimes we can undermine ourselves, our role, and whatever your role is, see yourself like seeing yourself on the screen, your shoulders back with pride. And now, perhaps you have an intellectual curiosity of how to get into a peak state. Perhaps you have an experiential curiosity. Now for an experience I'm going to share with you, having had the opportunity to have worked with some of the world's best athletes, businesses, people in general, helping prepare for presentations, for interviews. General day-to-day life can be quite challenging. Helping people get up in the morning and be the best they can be and maintain that. Because there has been times, no doubt, where we all have, we don't perform as well as we'd like to perform. And we kick ourselves. And now we're going to go on a journey. And we start the journey by placing your hands on your heart, or imagining your hands on your heart. Breathing naturally and normally. And going to a place of gratitude. And feeling that gratitude. Really feel what you're grateful for. Perhaps family, friends, career, job, income, roof over your head, a car, the gift of life, any material possessions, a phone, knowing there's someone somewhere that would give anything to have what you have, your senses, the gift, and feel it, and let those feelings radiate for every cell of the body, and let them get out to the universe. And as you do that, the energy you give out comes back. And as you give the energy out, you start attracting opportunities into your life. And you empower yourself. And as you empower yourself, you see yourself standing tall. As you stand tall, you feel a sense of purpose. As you feel this sense of purpose, you feel powerful, amazing, awesome. Really feel it. And think of a word. Think of a word that you have to describe feeling fantastic. Think of a word that really gets you going. A word that really juices you. A word that really has feeling and meaning to you. And say that word to yourself. And as you say that word to yourself, place your hands, or imagine placing your hands back on your heart. and say the words, I love you and your name. I once was on a spiritual journey. I'd gone on a path of lifelong learning, and a spiritual teacher in Thailand said to me, you can learn as much as you want to learn academically. Self-acceptance and love, and you can't give anything to anyone else you don't give to yourself. It's like topping up a bank account, and top the bank account of self-love and say the words, I love you and your name. I would say the words, I love you, Jim. The words, I love you in your name. And when the spiritual teacher told me to say it at first, it felt a bit contrived, unnatural. I persisted doing that for a few weeks, and one morning I felt bliss. And imagine the love of your grandparents, your parents, and the love you have for your children. All that love. I just felt a sense of acceptance. And it doesn't work always that way. And doing it first thing in the morning is a good place to start, creating a neural pathway in the brain that while you practice, you become stronger. You practice fear, you get more fearful. You practice love and compassion, and that becomes stronger. A pathway in the brain, and there are days it doesn't go the way you'd like it to go. And like anything, like a muscle, you do weights and it gets stronger. And there are certain days that we're just not on form, and that's okay. It's okay to be human. And really say it like you mean it. And like charging a mobile phone, and the battery gets stronger and stronger. You get stronger with self-love, and you radiate that out to the universe. And as you radiate that love out to the universe, it comes back to you. As it comes back to you, think of a time you felt really confident, or whatever confidence means to you. And you can't think of a time. Imagine someone you know who's really confident. And notice what you see on the screen. The way they walk or the way you walk. Their posture, their breathing, any colours, any sounds, and amplify them. As you amplify them, when you've got the image exactly how you want it, you can step into the image and live it like the here and now. And isn't it wonderful to know? And isn't it wonderful to know that you have all the resources you need in your mind? Isn't it wonderful to know that you've overcome challenges before? And think of the challenges you've overcome before and in the past. And isn't it wonderful to know and delightful to know that as you've learned to walk and talk, and as you've overcome challenges in your life, you can overcome any challenge that comes your way. You can stand tall. And perhaps you may have broken up in a relationship and felt sad and down, and then you ended up meeting someone who is more suitable for you. Or you went on the path of self-discovery, knowing that some people are in relationships and they feel more lonely than some people on their own. And you developed yourself. Or perhaps you lost a job. Or perhaps you had a financial disaster and it took you to a new career path. I once knew someone that had lost their business and they went through a breakup. And they went through so many challenges. And they had ill health. And having experienced all that and not knowing what to do or where to turn, every storm passes. And when the storm passed and the sun came beaming down, this person rebuilt their life. Life teaches us lessons. And the lesson this person had learnt was they weren't in the career they really enjoyed. Their relationship wasn't what they want it to be, and they needed to take more attention to their health, and they went on the path of self-discovery. Yet they didn't live happily ever after, yet all that said and done, they were in a much better place they could ever have imagined. Change is imminent. Change will happen anyway. We let go of what we can't control and control what we can. Still water runs deep. Taking time to think, to step off that treadmill of life, the path of self-discovery, so we can see the woods through the trees. And you'll see what you want to see, and any negative thoughts let them disintegrate into the atmosphere. As they disintegrate into the atmosphere, they burn into the sky. Knowing that how we communicate to ourselves, if we communicate to anybody else, we probably wouldn't have any friends. And we have roughly 60,000 thoughts per day, so they say, and of those thoughts, roughly 90% are reoffenders. And what I mean by that is that the thoughts you had yesterday, you had today, and are likely to have tomorrow, unless you make that conscious choice to program your mind at an unconscious level with a different thinking process. And we don't need to jump a building in one bound. We can take things one step at a time. We don't need to sink or swim. We can extend our comfort zone and start with affirming some positive affirmations. Now affirm some positive affirmations to yourself. Or incantation, and put emotion and feeling into it, driving a neural pathway in the brain, saying, I am super confident. 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 And make that a mantra. I am as valuable and as important as anybody else. I am as valuable and as important as anybody else. I am as valuable and as important as anybody else. I accept myself. I accept myself. I accept myself. I have love for self. I have love for self. I have love for self. And run that mantra. And any other mantras that work for you, run them in your mind. And as you do that, imagine a circle that represents confidence in front of you. And give a color and a sound. And imagine like diving into a swimming pool, or stepping into that circle, or sitting on that chair, and let those feelings radiate for every cell of your body, that confidence, that power, that love, that energy, that motivation. And see yourself like seeing yourself on the screen, and step into that screen. And now, perhaps you can reflect on things that you've got coming up, and imagine going to any situation with the power of knowing you've overcome challenges in the past and you'll overcome the challenge coming up. It could be an interview, a presentation, it could be a meeting, anything. Imagine going into it with power, you at your best, knowing you overcome many things in the past, and boom! And perhaps you'd like to rehearse your day or your week, or as long as you want to think in the future, and think of things you've got coming up. And as you think of these things you've got coming up, think of yourself going into them with this power, this powerful mindset. And as you do that, you can feel confident that you can overcome anything that comes your way, because we're not looking for the easy way out. We're looking for the strength of character to take anything that comes along their way, and enjoy the journey as well. Enjoy the journey and seize the day and live the moment. We can't change the past. We can't predict the future. All we could do is do what we can now, and the best chance you've got of achieving any goals you've got is living in the now. So any goals you've got in the future, bring the emotion into now, So your goals on career, your goals on finance, your goals in relationship, go to the feeling and vibrate that energy out to the universe. So whatever your goal is, knowing whatever you want it to feel better, feel it now. And as you feel that, you see yourself radiating, beaming that energy into the universe, and the energy that you beam out comes back to you. And as you do that, I'm going to pause for a moment. And as I pause, really enjoy these feelings. And if it's safe to do so, you can drift to sleep. If otherwise, you can get back up and go about whatever you're doing before or doing whatever you choose to do going forward.